was the Jews of Southern Africa, but I've actually narrowed it down to the Jews of Rhodesia. The Jews of Southern Africa is a pretty broad subject, and it might have to wait for other times. There's a very large, prominent community in South Africa, which I'm not really going to touch on. I'm more going to be talking about the Jews of Rhodesia. And of course, I have a personal interest. I'm married to one of them. And that's the source of my interest. I'm going to try not to embarrass her too much.
Good.
This slide I've started with is a picture of Africa between the world wars, and it's just sort of to demonstrate, the feeding frenzy that was colonial Africa, where everybody wanted a piece, basically. Okay, you could see, not major powers, even minor powers, even corporations. British, French, Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, Belgian, and the Germans were there too, but they lost some in World War I. They had to give it up, but they made up for that a few years later. The Americans are prominently not featured here, but they had their own interests in the Western Hemisphere. Of course, taking some property from Mexico in the mid 1800s, and then the end of the 1800s, it was Spain, and toppling a monarchy in Hawaii, taking that over. So, we were no less imperialist than any of these guys. Sorry about politicizing here a little bit. Okay, and this is, of course, a very prominent historical figure in the whole story. This is Cecil Rhodes, who was a mining magnate, entrepreneur, really got things moving, and established, or sort of lay the groundwork for what was later to become a British colony of Rhodesia, southern Rhodesia, okay, and later became Zimbabwe. At the end of all of this, became Zimbabwe and Zambia. He's also still remembered for Rhodes Scholarship, of course. That was something that he founded. Okay, anybody venture a guess on who this possibly be?
You?
That's Sunette.
I'm just kidding. Huh.
Okay, that's Sunette with her nanny, and she's a baby. And I'm not going to tell you what year. I'm not going to go there.
All of you would be in trouble.
This is later on. The nanny she really remembers was Diana, right, Sunette?
Yeah.
So this was her nanny when she was a baby. This is a little bit more detailed now. Anybody who's real interested, please, this is all just lifted from Wikipedia, okay? I'll give credit where credit is due, but just, and we don't have to go through all this in great detail, of course, but kind of in a nutshell, at the time that Sunette was little, it was a British colony. It was the British colony of southern Rhodesia. And in 1965, something very significant happened. There was a unilateral declaration of independence by a white-only government led by Ian Smith and his, I guess we can call them white supremacists, his white supremacist Rhodesian Front Party, which made his government and the new country very unpopular in the world, very much sanctioned by the world, earned the extreme displeasure of the Queen of England as well, in the British government. And also, because of their unwillingness to transfer power to even gradually to the black majority or give them some sort of a franchise, there began a pretty harsh civil war, guerrilla war. I guess we can call it terrorism because, basically, these guerrilla bands would come across the border. They weren't within the borders of Rhodesia. They would be in other countries and cross the border and attack white farmers and missionaries and just, haul people out of their homes and hack them to pieces. So, pretty horrible. It all ended in 1980 when the country became Zimbabwe, under the leadership of Robert Mugabe, who is one of these guerrilla leaders. He doesn't have a very good human rights record, and was pretty corrupt, and ultimately was displaced several years ago by a person who was his number two man, and I'm going to mispronounce his name, probably Mnangagwa.
Mnangagwa, I think, yes.
Mnangagwa, okay. And, initially there were some hopes that he might be an improvement, which it appears he is not. He's no improvement on the other guy, and he was a pretty ruthless person to begin with. I've got a little clip here. This is from March 8th, 1980. Okay, this is maybe shortly after it became Zimbabwe. This is in downtown Salisbury. It's probably a place that Sunette and her sisters remember. And this is showing what's happening to the statue of Cecil Rhodes. Here, I just have to start the video. Can everybody hear okay? There's just a little traffic. Cecil Rhodes was a believer in British imperialism and a symbol of British imperialism for this, folks, and it just reminds me a little bit of what's happening with the Confederate statues right now. I don't know if I'm way off base with that or not. Don't think so. Any comments? Anybody comments or questions? Oh, the Nathans are here. Welcome.
Yes, hi. Is Jeanette there?
Hi,
she.
how are you? Hi,
Yes,
Fine, how are you?
yes.
Good. I'm at work, so I'm just on the phone at work.
Okay, and of course you are South African Jews, not
Right,
Rhodesian.
so we definitely wanted to come to this.
Yeah. And this is a. And any comments? Any questions? Anybody? I wonder if any of my sister-in-laws made it. I don't think so.
No.
Okay. Yeah. So this is a very good book that Sunette has read. Her sister. I've started reading it. Okay, about it's a memoir actually of a person who grew up in Rhodesia who can tell the story. You have any comments on it, Sunette? You've read the book, right?
No, it's good. He's a journalist now. He lives in New York. But he grew up around the same time I did, but he grew up on a farm. And then he wrote a follow-up book where he discovered his parents, who were real British people. He discovered his father was actually Jewish and had hidden it from him.
How about that? Oh. So that doesn't come out in this book yet. That's in
No, it's in the next one.
Interesting.
And he suffered some tragedies with the terrorists. I won't give them away.
Okay. Okay, now here's an interesting old picture. It's from 1902, and this is from a family in what was then Poland. Okay, and this is a very classy photo, obviously. Very classy family. This is actually Sunette's family, okay? These are Sunette's ancestors. And here, I'll just click on this, so it'll give us a little more information. Kasparovsky family, okay, 1902. This is Sunette's grandfather. Oh, I want to go back. Previous, here we go. Here, this is Sunette's grandfather, Solomon. That's her father's father, okay? This is her great-uncle, Morris, probably original Moshe. This is her great-uncle, Laser, and a little bit more about Laser in a minute. And there were some older brothers, Shia and Nathan, had already left the town. The town was Schutzen. I'm not sure I can even pronounce it. Schutzen. I'm getting ahead of myself again. Previous. Okay. Nathan went to America and Shia went to Sweden. So that's got, the family kind of branched off and ultimately, the Morris and Solomon went to Rhodesia. So, Sunette's got family all over the world, Well, she's got cousins in America, and she's got cousins from southern Africa, now in different places, and maybe Sweden, we don't know. Oh, and I should mention, that I mentioned the Swedish connection. That's how she ended up Abramson, with the surname Abramson, because in Sweden they use patronyms. And the father, the patriarch of the family, this was Abraham. So the name, instead of Kasparovsky, became Abramson. But there's some that retain the name Casper, right, Sunette?
Yeah, in the U.S.
So keep your eyes on this little boy. This is Sunette's great uncle Laser, okay? And here's Laser again. And he was a record breaker. He lived to be beyond 107, Sunette?
108.
108. Well, yeah, okay. And here he is celebrating his 107th birthday in Bulawayo. Here's Sunette's mom. This is Celia. Okay, so she was still there at the time. And Sunette also has a very, very prominent cousin named Avi, who is also here. Where is Avi?
In the middle.
Yeah, that's Avi. Okay.
Yeah.
He was a minister in the Rhodesian government before it became the totally white supremacist government. He was in the government that preceded Ian Smith, and he was also a member of parliament. And he was one of the good guys. He tried to do what he could to give more fairness, a fair shake for those who were called Africans there, okay, for the natives, which ultimately didn't happen and led to some pretty cataclysmic results. Now, what does he say? Okay. Yeah, because I was curious about what Laser's secret was to longevity. And so what he said was don't eat between meals. And what else did he do? Here, I'm going to have to minimize the thumbnails here. Avoid fizzy drinks and alcohol. And Laser gave up smoking. And until quite recently, it says he took daily walks. Okay, so that's Sunette's Uncle Laser. Anything you want to tell us about Uncle Laser or Evie?
No, they lived in Bulawayo, a different city, so we didn't see them very often.
Yeah. Now I didn't mention, there were two main Jewish communities. There's Salisbury, where Sunette was, and Bulawayo, but there was one other little one. What was that called? I have a
little one. Gatuma, Ampali, Kwekwe. There were very small Jewish communities there.
Okay, yes, there's some very small ones there. This is A.B. Abramson's biography. If you ever want to read it, it's on Amazon. Now these, I mentioned the Ashkenazi, who were really almost entirely Litvak, Lithuania, or like Greater Lithuania, you could say, from Belarus and Lithuania. There was also a Sephardi community in Rhodesia, which really started coming in around 1930s. And they were from Rhodes, like the Amatos, who now live in Toronto, who were friends of Sunette's family back in Salisbury. And so they, their language was Ladino, was Judeo-Spanish and or Turkish. And you can see the dress is a little different. Many came to the Belgian Congo. Yeah, Ketty Amato, her family went to the Belgian Congo. Here's an old photograph. This is from, Sunette was mentioning one of these smaller communities. So this is a photograph that was taken near Gatuma. Now this is actually from a very excellent website that's run by a guy who is actually Sunette's third cousin. His name is Dave Bloom. And he's sort of a historian of the Jewish community of Rhodesia and is running a website that is really excellent. I'll have his URL in a minute if anybody is interested in doing a little more personal research. But you can see the names are all a little different here. We're just going to go previous. Okay, the names are Amato, Hassan, Travis, and Hanan. Here's surnames. I don't think the Amatos made it. I don't think they're here.
No.
And here's some pictures from the website from the Southern Rhodesian. This is the Sephardi Ladies Society, and there's someone holding one of the Sifrei Torah. I think the Sephardim actually read the Torah standing up. Chris. I'm going to admit Chris.
And I'll get her. You take care of the program.
Okay. Here this gentleman is standing next to the Sifrei Torah, and they have this very ornate casing, and I think the Torah is read in an upright position. And also, it's read in a traditional Sephardi congregation. It's also read at the center of the room. There's sort of a place in front where they do the davening and they lead the service, but the actual Torah reading is in a central elevated platform in the center of the sanctuary, and everybody is kind of seated around that in a big square. At least that's a traditional setting for a Sephardi shul. I don't know if Sunette, were you ever in the Sephardi
Yeah,
synagogue?
many times. But I didn't pay attention to things like that.
You didn't see anything like that. They just
No, they
everything was
probably did. I said I didn't pay attention to it. I didn't know. I didn't care really about the differences between Ashkenazi and Sephardi prayer. They just had good food that they're waiting for Bar Mitzvah.
Yes, Sunette remembers the good food. Yeah, you had told me about that. Sunette, okay, I'm going to hold this up. Yeah, this said the ladies.
Somebody's asking.
What did you say?
Somebody was asking you a question, I think.
Oh,
I think it was me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear her? Yeah.
yes, I can hear you.
Okay. They came from Rhodes, which is in Greece. Do you have any idea of what prompted them to leave Rhodes and come to Africa?
Well, I think they what the Amatos mentioned when I did my program, they said there was like an extreme economic decline, but there was also a concern that about the Nazis, when that
They came at
when that
time.
started, they actually, and they deported, when they took over Rhodes, they deported Jews to death camps. So,
Oh, okay.
so,
that would be...
so when it became apparent that there was imminent danger, that was also a very, strong force in favor. But they had mentioned there was some economic decline. And as far as was it Greek, was it Turkish? I think that it was sort of more Turkish influenced than Greece. But I think it was one of those territories that the Greeks and the Turks fought over a little bit.
I've been to Rhodes. It's a Greek island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's officially part of Greece. Yes. It's incorporated into Greece, but historically, it was actually even part of Turkey because the Amatos had told us that when the Jews were evicted from Spain, they sought refuge in the Turkish Empire that really didn't have anything against them. They didn't have any problem with Jews, and the Turkish Sultan said, if you go to Rhodes, you can live there tax-free for 99 years. So they took them up on it. So at that time, but that's going way back, it was under Ottoman control, I guess, that territory. And so there was a lot of Ottoman influence too. So these people, they spoke Ladino, they spoke Turkish, languages like that. I just wanted to hold up something
the
that
Belgian
has a
Congo.
copy of.
Ooh.
I'm sorry?
So they went to the Belgian Congo, a lot of them, before they went to Zimbabwe.
Yes. Because Ketty was mentioning that her family actually went to the Belgian Congo, and Ketty has a very cute French accent, because he was French speaking. Those were in my program on the Ladino songs.
Ladino, I can see that.
And this was an effort on the part of the Sephardi Ladies Society. Sunette has a copy, and you will search in vain for a recipe for gefilte fish in this thing, obviously, but you can find tarama, you can find agreto, you could find a cristada, whatever that is, in alamenico, okay? And lots of, Spanish-sounding, interesting recipes that are all block kosher, of course. And this, I guess this was probably came out, looks like it came out sometime in the early 1960s or something. And Kenny Amato actually contributed to that. How are we doing for time? 10:33. This may turn out to something like the Civil War. I may have to do this in 2 parts.
Yeah, very interesting.
Okay. And here's a activity of the Ashkenazi congregation.
Wow.
Okay, any guesses on who this might be? Yeah, that's Sunet. And that's a confirmation. That's
No,
a
it's not a
confirmation.
confirmation.
Confirmation?
No, we didn't have a confirmation. That's the Catholics. It was a bat mitzvah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a bar mitzvah. Okay. Okay.
It's a joint one because girls didn't read from the Torah.
Yeah. In
So it's a
those
joint
days,
one with who?
And you see it.
13 of us. There's 13 of us there.
Okay.
Joint
And this
with
was-
13 girls.
And the Sephardim didn't have anything that was
No,
like
the
bar
Sephardim were
mitzvah?
there too.
Oh, so it was,
Girls were Sephardim. Yeah. One of them sitting next to me is Sephardim. Doreen Aladef.
is this Doreen Aladef?
No, she's on. I think the one looking away is Doreen Aladef.
Okay.
May have been up. She's to my right.
And this is your friend Irene.
Ingrid.
Ingrid. Ingrid,
Oh, and
who is
Ruth
British.
Maxwell next to Ingrid is partly Sephardi. Maxwell, they had some Moroccan or something. I don't know.
Uh-huh. Okay. But the location was the Hebrew congregation of Salisbury. That was the Ashkenazi
It's
synagogue.
the biggest synagogue, yeah. And that's the men's section downstairs. That's why there are only men there.
Okay. And of course, and you know, Sunet has explained to me this was an Orthodox synagogue. Okay. So so no women were up on the beam or anything. And was this like a weekday or something?
No, it was a Sunday. I think it was like Shavuot or Sukkot. It was one of those holidays, and we all read a bit. So we didn't read from the Torah. It was from the book of Ruth or something. I can't remember anymore.
Okay. See, it's good Sunet is here. She's setting me straight on the details, as usual. Oh, okay. And this is a dedication of the Salisbury Street Synagogue. Here, this is the old one. And here's Sunet's father is listed here. Somewhere. As a previous president. Here he is.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
He was the previous president, so he's listed there. And also, I'm going to have to minimize the thumbnails, but anybody who can see, this is Sunet's father here in the photograph. That's Sunet's father,
Show
Harold.
it again. Show it again.
Now, where is it?
Where is
It's
it?
bottom
I don't
right.
see it.
Bottom right.
Yeah, you might have to
Oh, it's,
minimize all the people.
I have to remove you guys, but no.
Oh, let me.
You have to sort of minimize the
Right.
participant.
It's my computer. There's some pop-up that's getting in the way.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, nope, now it goes too far. Okay.
But anybody
Well,
who can see
I see it now. Uh-huh.
my little arrow, I've got my arrow on Sunet's
All right.
father.
On your father-in-law. That's
Yeah,
I have a
that's my
pop-up
father-in-law,
that's
yeah.
stuck.
He's facing the camera. Yeah, and this was 1977.
Wow.
It says, and of course it says in Hebrew, it says, B'yom Chanukat Beit HaKnesset HaChadash, and Salisbury, you can sound out in Hebrew here. Salisbury.
Yeah, and he was president. He was president of the shul several times. He
Yeah.
was president of the PTA at our Jewish day school.
And he also played the Mikado
Oh.
in a school production. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any pictures of that.
Hey, Steve,
Yes.
Sorry to bother you, but can you put an arrow on him again? Because I had a problem with my computer and I
Sure.
exited the full screen so I could see it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
All right,
he's
thank you.
facing the camera there.
All right, I see it now.
And so this was 1977. So at this time,
Well,
I think
no, no,
Sunetta
no.
told me you were working in South Africa, right?
Yes.
Okay, Sunette was working in South Africa, and Denise was in Cape Town,
At
university.
university. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, Claire was in school,
And Lynn.
and Lynn, yes, forgot that.
Oh,
And now here, yeah, Denise had helped me with this, but this is a street view, pretty recent, but it shows where Sunette's father's pharmacy was. It was here. If you could see the arrow,
Uh-huh.
it was here. Is that right, Sunette? Does that
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can.
did it look roughly the same or just totally
Yes.
different?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay, okay. And it was Stability Pharmacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had, they would do deliveries of prescriptions to people's homes. He had 2 African employees who would do that, go out on their bikes and deliver the prescriptions. There was Sixpence and Jolly.
I think so.
Yeah, that's as Sunette remembers it. Yeah. And we were talking a little bit about the terrorism, and there was an incident not at the pharmacy, but behind the pharmacy. A bomb once went off. That was probably planted by one of these guerrilla armies to create some havoc. But nobody got hurt, or as far as Sunette knows, nobody got hurt. There was just some damage to her father's car, I think.
Thank goodness.
Oh no, this again, I'm sorry that Dave Bloom wasn't able to come, but Dave Bloom did some excellent work and just gathering bits and pieces of the history of this community. So he went back a few years ago to Harare. Now Harare used to be Salisbury. I think I would say it's some personal risk. I mean, it's not a nice place anymore. And he met up with an elderly gentleman named Benny Leon from the Sephardi community, who was helping him, sort of showing him around, and took him to the Pioneer Street Jewish Cemetery in Salisbury. So I'm just going to play this tape a little bit if it works.
Take a shot of you visiting your parents'
Yeah,
grave.
I'd like that.
I'd also like to do the...
It's my grandparents, actually.
Oh, is it your grandparents?
Yeah,
Where are your parents from?
in America.
Well,
That's,
that's a Christian one.
yeah.
No, we have a... We very rarely go to the cemetery.
Right.
Okay. Slow down. Okay. Slow down. Now you turn in here. Okay.
This is the entry to the Pioneer Street.
And then over there is the Forest Stadium where they celebrated where they had the independence celebrations.
Right.
Okay, now we're here we are.
This is the Pioneer Street Cemetery. We come to visit. All the graves, the pictures of the graves are on the ZJC website. This is just a short video clip of all the cemetery stones. And we're about less than a kilometer away from the copy. It's in reasonably good shape. The story?
Rhode Island, and we're very fortunate enough to escape rounding up by the Nazis who deported the Jews of Rhodes to Auschwitz.
Right.
They came here. Their children was Gora Aladef, who married J.N. Aladef. The other daughter married Koblenz, Chaim Koblenz. Marky Koblenz is offspring of there, they're just identified. As you can see, when they died yesterday, they were 1957.
Yeah.
Age 85 years. They're all in good health and they survived. They avoided being deported to Auschwitz.
They had good lives here.
They had a good life here. They were supported by their children. And I remember meeting them, and that's how I got an idea what the Jews of Rhodes were like.
Right.
Very simple folk. They didn't adapt to the language. They spoke Latino. And that's the way I would speak to them as well.
Right.
I remember them coming to Gatuna, and they spent a few weeks with us.
Right.
Sort of a change of
Scenery.
environment.
Yeah.
And there it is. That's the Baron Leon, who's my great granduncle, I should say.
Right.
He was my grandfather's brother.
Right.
And from him and Leah, they had 7 siblings. I think they had 4 brothers and 3 daughters.
Right.
One of which was Rebecca Leon. Rebecca Leon, who became Rebecca Cohen. And Rebecca Cohen is the mother of Victor Cohen.
Right.
All from this family here.
Right. Thanks, Benny. Thank you.
What Leah's maiden name is, but my grandmother's maiden name was Siddies.
Right.
And Siddies was related to Ellis Finch. Ellis Finch's mother,
Right.
Lucy, was Siddies.
Right.
And that made her a cousin to my father. So Ellis Finch is my second cousin.
Right.
So there it is, yeah.
So this is the surrounding area of the Harare Pioneer Street Jewish Cemetery. The earliest grave is 1904. Actually about where we are now.
Yes, we're on the road coming up to the summit of the Kopi.
Copy is Little Hill.
Yeah.
And we're still, you see when we turn the corner, we're still travelling. We'll have to wait a bit.
Why?
Still travelling, still fine. The Kopi, as everybody knows, is where the water reservoirs is for the town. It's quite a climb, it's quite an ascent. Ahead of us you can see the microwave towers. Microwaves, there's 3 of them.
Right.
I think one is for each telephone company. Connect, Tel One, and I think it's Africa. I'm not sure.
Right.
Here's the waterworks. Here we go. Up. There's an observation platform.
Hang on. One stop. The police. Yeah. So now we're driving back along Rotten Road.
Rotten Row at the moment.
Yeah.
We're coming to the intersection of Samora Michelle, formerly Jameson Avenue. As you can see, the traffic's quite heavy. With all the poverty in Zimbabwe, we don't know where all these cars come from. Real mystery as far as I'm concerned.
This is the Kensington Shopping Centre. Yes. Now we're heading to Argyle Drive. Yes. left into Lincoln.
So just for lack of time, I'm just going to move ahead. But actually, he went to look for his boyhood home, which was a restaurant, which had become a restaurant. I guess he was a little bit, concerned about actually going in and showing himself. So he kind of just took some pictures and went by. But any questions or comments about this?
Yeah, I have one.
Yes.
You mentioned David Bloom, and because I am a Bloom, my maiden name is Bloom, I just wondered, you said it's too bad he couldn't come. Is this David Bloom in Green Valley?
No, he lives in
no.
Israel.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where his father was from. I mean,
Okay,
like,
there's
related
probably
to-
no relation and no connection, but I just thought up with the name Bloom.
Yeah, his father must be from South Africa, though. I mean, my parents were South African, too. They only came to Rhodesia in the 50s because it was considered the land of opportunity where you could live more cheaply and, So my
Okay.
parents are actually South African.
Okay.
And of course, there's more on the website. I have the website up top if you're interested. It's zjz.org.il. Okay, right up here on the top. And
Yeah.
this Dave Bloom did a terrific job. I mean, he's got a lot of stuff on this. Well, a lot of old pictures, newer pictures, a lot of videotapes like this one. Here, so I'm just going to move ahead here. Next, I'm going to find. Oh, there we go. This is another one. You know what? I'm going to skip this. This just shows sort of old views of Salisbury. Okay. So, I guess we could show a little bit of it. Here. I don't think there's sound. I think this is without sound. But it just shows what the town looked like a little bit.
Pretty big.
Did you say something, Sunette?
No.
Oh. Was that statue of Cecil Rhodes, was that like a big roundabout thing in the middle of the road or something? Or?
I don't think we had roundabouts. I don't remember exactly. My sisters probably remembered this.
Oh, there it is. You could see the statue. They sort of showed it for a minute.
Yeah,
It was sort of in the middle of the road there. Not a
Yeah.
roundabout. It was like on the, sort of on the partition.
yeah.
There's a fountain. Yeah, there it is, sort of.
Is she taking those shots from an airplane or a helicopter?
I don't know. I don't know. This was, I downloaded this from, I'm thinking some sort of platform or building, probably. It's a little
Okay.
too stable.
'Cause that's
But
pretty
it's
high
just this,
view.
yeah. And they show a little bit of, let me see, I could fast forward a little bit. Oh, here. This is just the areas surrounding. Wouldn't it be neat if we went by Sunette's house?
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, well, you were out a little further. It wasn't all built up like this, like suburban, right?
No, it was. Of course it was.
But were there built, what, their houses close together? Because that picture with your nanny, it looks like there's, a lot of territory around.
Well, most of the lots were like a half an acre or about an acre.
Wow.
But it was suburban, a half to an acre. Yeah, that's pretty much what they look like.
They look pretty new houses.
Yeah, there were some older ones closer to downtown, but most people lived in newer houses.
Look at those beautiful dresses.
Yeah, this is a bazaar to raise funds for the Bulawayo Synagogue.
They look Sephardic.
And this is
So
1908. This is 1908.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't think there were many Sephardim in Bulawayo. They mainly went to Salisbury.
Oh,
And that's my great uncle's.
What
And he
is
became
is
very
Morris.
wealthy.
yeah, go ahead, Sunette. No, you were
I
going
was
to say.
saying he became very wealthy after that.
And this was his store.
Well,
And here
his
there's
son became wealthy. His son built up. They had a big optical business and all kinds of businesses.
Are they still in South Africa, Jeanette?
In Zimbabwe, no.
Oh,
I have some relatives in South Africa. But
Steve, thank you
Yeah,
very
sorry.
much. I've got to jump over to my
Okay.
other here. Yeah, take care.
Okay. Oh, here, I have a little video clip from YouTube here that I'm going to show.
I'm just wondering if you could, to put a little context in this, what you know about the history of the Jewish community in Bulawayo. I know there were several waves of immigration, and at its peak, there were over 7,000 Jews in the community in Rhodesia. Can you give us a little overview of what you know?
I have somewhere at home the 100th anniversary of the community, which was probably 10 years ago, 2012, maybe 2000, 12 years ago. I know that there were, what happened was there's a large influx of Lithuanians, but there were also a lot of people who came from England, because this was a British colony. And the two met and accepted each other and formed a community. It almost came like there were the barons, who were a formidable presence in the community, because they had established, their grandparents, great-grandparents had established many aspects of the community. A shul was built almost immediately, the shul. They just took off as a Jewish community, and they thrived. They started off as tiny little stores near the railway line at the railway station, because that's where there was no river. You know, usually in a city with the river, that's where all the development starts and goes outward. So this
Sorry, I think I disrupted things there. But could people just mute themselves? Just if you're talking on the phone or anything, just mute yourself.
They started around the railway station, and then it brought in. They were almost like dynasty families from the founding fathers, and nobody left. Nobody left until the political situation became unsettled in the 60s, between the 50s and 60s. And then you started seeing children leaving and not coming back.
Was everybody able to hear that okay?
I was hearing an echo on it when she
Yeah,
was talking.
no,
Yeah, I think somebody wasn't muted, that's all. Somebody wasn't
we're
muted,
we're gonna copy the link.
sorry?
I'm gonna copy the link. Don't take it off.
Oh, okay, I'm leaving it on, yep. That is a very interesting, yeah, there are a lot of, actually, this Yiddish Book Center now has a lot of programs going on Zoom, all sorts of topics related to Judaism and Jewish culture. Yeah, but
Okay.
just a quick request from everybody, try to mute yourself while we're showing videos because you can hear background noise if you're not muted. We still got a little more time. Is everybody okay with me continuing?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I've got a lot. I'm probably going to have to do some next time anyway.
Why don't we just break then, Steve, and continue next week?
We can break, but I just want to do a quick show and tell before we break. Because
Okay.
I want to show everybody this beautiful shirt I'm wearing. Can you see my shirt, people?
Hold on. Take your share screen off.
Oh, okay. I'm going to stop the share. Yeah, okay. Good idea.
Now stand up so we can see your shirt.
Or I can move this.
Yeah, we could see it.
Now we can see it.
Do you see a funny-looking bird
Yeah, we see that bird.
in front of a red star? That is the flag of Zimbabwe. Well, that's the central emblem. The bird is the Zimbabwe bird or the Batalur eagle or African fish eagle. Okay? And here, this is Sunet's little
Oh,
Zimbabwe
how
bird.
cute. Is it made out of stone?
What is it made out of,
stone or
Sunet? Yeah,
wood?
it's some sort of stone, yeah.
Uh-huh. Cute.
It's soapstone.
Soapstone, okay.
Yeah, I have to mute myself because after people are
Oh,
calling.
okay. So yeah, I think that's a good idea, Ruth Ann. We'll just break here.
Break here.